As mentioned before, this year has been the most progressive year of my life, without a doubt. It's almost like the seed that I've been watering my whole life finally started to bloom this year. And it was played out in a way where I forced it, through the habits I indulged in consistently, without fail. And the key to this is without fail. And what I mean by without fail is maintaining consistency and not losing momentum. Take it like this. In school, depending on where you live, you'll have fitness classes that are mandatory for you to take. And for some people, it would be their first time ever working out. And when it's your first time, it's uncomfortable, it's not easy. But as it becomes more routine-based, it becomes easier. And over time, when you're so adjusted to this routine, you stop to realize the benefits that has done for you. So when you tweak your routine to being more productive, through set habits that I'm going to be talking about in this video, you end up growing exponentially through all aspects of your life, through your mental health, through your physical health, through your relationships, and so on. When you indulge in good habits, you improve your identity, you improve your self-image. When you indulge in bad habits, your self-image decreases. Now let's talk about some habits. First of all, a daily task list. So in school, when you were a kid, they give you an agenda where you'd be forced to fill out every single day and you show it to your teacher before you go home. I don't know about you, but I had to do that. And I only did that for school so I can get out of class. I never did it in my free time or even bothered checking off what I completed or what I didn't complete as a kid. But when you have an agenda and when you meticulously write down and check off tasks that you need to complete every single day, your productivity increases drastically. My biggest problem last year that I realized last year when I started this YouTube channel was that my time management was horrible. At the time, I was managing 2 businesses on the side of YouTube, while also trying to maintain good grades in my last year of university, while also going to the gym, while also taking care of my family, while also taking care of my girlfriend's family. It was all over the place, and I caught myself feeling a bit too overwhelmed at times. But the reason for me being overwhelmed was not because I couldn't handle whatever was being thrown at me, but it was because I was so unorganized with everything. I didn't have a time upload schedule. Yes, I would upload every single day, but some days I'd upload at 5, some days I'd upload at 7, some days I'll upload at 12. So my schedule being all over the place and being that erratic, it can cause you to feel very overwhelmed. But when you viciously time organize, where you write down the tasks that you have to do at this time, that time, every single day, and you plan it out the night before, your days will become much easier, especially if you commit to it. It's one thing to write down what you have to do, it's another thing to have to actually do it and work on trying to check it off. In school, when you were a kid, once again, when you get correct answers on tests, your teachers would give you a green check for every single thing. And it unconsciously makes you feel better when you have these check marks. So rather than someone doing that for you, when you end up doing that for yourself, like let me show you. When you end up checking off your successfully completed tasks in the day, you're more motivated to complete the rest. It's almost OCD as well, where you have 9 check marks and then 1 non-checked off. You're like, whatever, let me just do it. So having a daily task list, super underrated. I highly recommend it if you're bad at time management. It'll help you out a lot. Next, meditation. Me being a quote-unquote YouTuber or entrepreneur that has people working with and for me, I have to be able to trust myself. So I started meditating this year, and I never did that before. I never used to meditate. I'd always look down on meditation for whatever fucking reason. I didn't even have a genuine reason to cringe or look down on meditation, but I just did. And when I started to learn the benefits of it, I wanted to test it for myself, because all the most successful people that I know all meditate. So I found that attribute in common, and I was like, okay, let me pick it up, see how it goes. Firstly, it is way harder than you think to just sit down, actively try to clear your mind, and control your breathing for 5 to 10 minutes. Way harder than you think. But the result is being able to catch your thoughts and get into a flow state a lot easier. You can tell when someone's not very present, where they're like fidgeting, they're like looking around, they can't maintain eye contact, they're always checking their phone every few minutes, versus someone that is just fully focused on whatever's going on in that present moment. It brings a lot of trust within yourself, and the more you trust yourself, the more easy it is to make decisions generally. So when I make my videos, even this one, I don't have a script, I'm just going purely off of my brain and my intuition alone. Why am I able to go off of my intuition is because I've learned to trust myself generally. For my shorts, everything that you ever see on my shorts, 0% of it is planned. I'll have the question in front of me, I'll have the picture or whatever I need to comment on, everything else just flows easily. If you look back at my videos from 2022, so when I first started this channel, you can visually see how different my approach towards the videos were then versus now. I'll actually put up 2 videos so you can see. Next, cold exposure, specifically cold showers. Bro, when you start your day off with something difficult, the rest of the day becomes easy. When I wake up, one of the first things I do is I take a 1:30 cold shower. So the faucet goes like this. This area is cold, this area is hot. I will turn the faucet like this, so the coldest it could possibly be. I'll set a timer on my phone for 1:30, jump in, and not allow myself to take a step back. Bro, when you start your day off by doing something that difficult, everything else becomes so easy. Because I'm telling you right now, that's the hardest thing to do, especially just when you wake up. But what has that done for me? It's made me less lazy. I'm able to work more efficiently. Next, monthly and yearly goals. Having a daily task list is like daily goals, if you really think about it. But monthly goals are goals that you must achieve throughout the month. So within previous years, every single January 1st, I'd write goals for the year. And I would unconsciously, so unintentionally end up achieving those goals. The same thing can be applied for monthly goals too. So every month this year has felt like a new year. Where January I had these goals to do, February these. And when you aim above your standard, you end up achieving more than you would have if you aimed lower. So let's take this year. I wanted to hit 100 million views across YouTube and TikTok by December. January I said 10 million views. I ended up getting 15 million views. So I said, okay, I ended up achieving further than I thought I could. Let's try 40 million for February. I ended up doing 35 million in February. And then March, I ended up going even higher and then higher and then higher. I don't even remember the numbers, but I remember I kept aiming higher and higher and higher. And then for some reason, I just kept checking it off. It just kept speeding up and speeding up. That's not just because of the work ethic that I put in. It's because in my brain, I wanted to get myself that check mark. It's so silly when you think about it, but the result is crazy. Every month feels like a new year because of these monthly goals. Next, sacrifice. Sacrifice must be progressively overloaded if you want to amount to anything in life. So what does that mean? Your future self. For you to make your future self live a better life, you need to sacrifice things within your present life to make that a reality. So whether that would be hanging out with certain friends that you really enjoy spending time with, whether that be eating certain foods, whether that be using your phone less, sacrificing pleasure. Freud, who was one of the gangsters in psychology, said human beings are either motivated towards pleasure or away from pain. So when you're aware of the fact that your natural instinct is to move away from pain, when you, not in an emo way, but feel more comfortable around pain, you're able to amount to a lot more. So look, cold showers, it's painful. Working out could be painful. Having a diet where you have to eat good food even if it tastes like shit, once again, could be painful. But what does that do for you? It leads to more pleasure in the future. So it's almost like a delayed gratification type thing, but it must be progressively overloaded. Now what does that mean? In the gym, say your max bench press is 135, so 1 plate on each side. For you to get to a higher level of bench press, you need to progressively overload the weight. So you end up putting on more weight and trying to get the same repetitions to get to the next level. With sacrifice, the same thing is applied. When you adapt to a routine, that involves a lot of these sacrifices. I have a few that I can name off the top of my head. I deleted all social media on my phone. I find a lot of pleasure in just scrolling on Instagram or whatever. It's so fun to me. But I deleted that. My phone is in black and white. My wallpaper is my goals. I have this chocolate that's in front of my desk that I look at every single day whenever I work at this table. And the reason for this is pretty funny, but firstly, it's not very healthy for you, right? And it's my favorite chocolate ever. And the way how the brain works is pretty funny because when you're super hungry and you have this treat in front of you, your brain will start to cope and try to find rational reasons why you're allowed to eat this food. And it makes sense. I could just eat this right now and go on with my life. Nothing would change. But by training my brain to delay gratification, because I am going to eat this January 1st, it ends up just being better. So, yeah. Progressively overloading sacrifice. You'll always end up adjusting over time. When you work out for the first time, you're not going to be used to it at first, but eventually you get used to it and you don't even get sore anymore. So you need to progressively overload. When you're doing all these other things on the side that are trying to improve your productivity generally, eventually you adjust. And you may not plateau because you're obviously still going to be growing, but sometimes you need to do more and pick up more things that you don't want to do that'll allow you to progress more. Now, to conclude, some people on Twitter, because Twitter is a whole different community, say to me, don't you take life too seriously? This isn't fun. But what they don't understand is this is fun. This is more fun than I'd ever have doing anything else. It gives you healthy dopamine when you know you're moving forward towards a better life, because your life is all that you have. So rather than making this life that you have a miserable place through how you see yourself, through the people around you, through how you feel about the world, rather than making it a miserable place, by doing certain things that are beneficial for you, you end up feeling better about life in general.